Hello students, welcome back to SST online classes. Let's continue chapter 3, First Farmers and Herders. Let's have a quick recapitulation. In the previous classes we had learnt about Neolithic age, from food gatherer to food producer, and man learned domestication of animals. He started making bricks. Then came discovery of wheel, importance of wheel, development of potter's wheel, pottery, and his tools. Today we shall learn about way of life of early man in Neolithic age. Way of life. So in Neolithic age, what was the lifestyle of man, early human? With leading a more settled life brought about several other changes in the lives of human beings. So in Neolithic age, man started doing cultivation. He learned that he can make pots and pans. He learned to make tools with handles. He learned to cultivate food, live a settled life. So a lot of changes came in the life of human being. Since they did not have to worry about finding food all the time, they had time to do other things. Now, in early days, he had to spend all his time for searching food. Early morning get up and go to search for the food that he need to have at the evening. So whole day was spent for searching food. But now he has learned to cultivate food. So he has some extra time also. So this helped them to start forming small communities which gradually grew into villages. Now they started making their houses near their fields, near the water bodies. Small houses became a small village. As the community became more and more close-knit, they started dividing work among themselves. Now they started, because they are living in a village, they started dividing their work so that they can do their work properly and perfectly. So they started dividing their work. This eventually gave rise to new occupation and division of labor. So they started doing some other jobs also. Some did cultivation, some started looking after animals, some were laborer making pots and pans. So there came different occupation and division of labor. They also formed tribes with their own specific customs and beliefs. So they also had some new tribes with some new customs and new belief, new traditions. Occupation of the early human in Neolithic age. So what were the jobs he did? People in this period engaged in farming. They did agriculture, hunting of animals, fishing, pottery making pots and pans, weaving, making clothes, dyeing the clothes, coloring them, etc. These were his jobs. Other than cultivation of crop, they also went for they also went for hunting animals, looking after animals, catching fish, doing some pottery, making some pots and pans, coloring them, giving design to them, making some clothes, that is weaving, and then dyeing them, coloring those clothes. Weaving. In this age, people learn to make baskets and slowly learn to weave clothes. So they also started making some baskets to store food and things, and make some clothes also, weave clothes. So they must have observed the birds weaving their nest and must have got the idea from there. So making basket, making clothes, this idea also they learnt by observation. So what we learn from the early human, that we can learn so many things only by observing minutely. So many things that early human learned, and today we are enjoying. All new inventions and discovery is by observation. So human being in early ages observed birds knitting their nest. From there he learned to weave the clothes and basket. So nature also teaches us so many lessons. So you also find out any lesson that you learn from nature, maybe a river, a tree, or a bird, anything that teaches you a lesson. Painting. Painting were done on the stones or walls of caves, and these depict their emotions. So in free time, early human used to do some painting work that we can see in Ajanta, Ellora caves also. So the painting he did not do on a canvas that we do or in a copy or drawing book. He did that on the walls of the caves and on the stones. And all his emotions, he is happy, sad, celebrating some festival, that could be understood by seeing those paintings. So scenes of hunting, dancing, or processions. Procession means moving in a group for celebrating something, and so on have been found on the walls of caves. So if when the excavation was done and we find many caves in which the paintings by the early human being have been found, like in Ajanta Ellora caves. So scenes are related to when they went for hunting and when they danced, maybe because of joy, or some processions, maybe dance procession or some procession celebrating something. Those scenes they have painted on the walls of caves and stones. Next we have dwellings. How was his house? Okay, dwelling place means the place where he lived. In the Neolithic age, people began to live in thatched huts or pit houses, which have been found at number of places. So in the beginning of the Neolithic age, man started making thatched huts, making huts and making roof over that, or making pit houses. Lot of evidences have been found. The structure of these pit houses underwent a gradual change. Some pit houses were built with logs and stones and bricks, depending on their availability. So pit houses were made whatever they could get, maybe a logs of wood or stones or bricks. These things they collected according to whatever they got. If they got logs of wood, with that they made. If they've got bricks or stones, with that they made. And you can see that in picture also, how were the thatched huts houses or pit houses. Such pit houses have been found at Burzo home in present day Jammu and Kashmir. So by seeing the picture which I have put with this, you can understand what kind of house was a pit house or a thatched hut. But not all people suddenly settled down into farming and living in pit houses. Many tribes continued to live in jungles and remained hunter-gatherers for a long time. So it doesn't mean in Neolithic age all the early men, all the people started living a settled life, living in thatched houses, in village, in group. No, many of them were there who did not move into group or live in thatched houses or in village. They still remained in the jungles. Still they continued doing the hunting work or gathering the food. Even today we have some groups of people in the tribal groups which still continue to do hunting and gathering work. Even today there are certain tribes in different parts of the world which are still surviving on hunting, fishing, gathering food from jungles and every limited farming. So still there are some people who do not want to go away from nature. They still want to be with there and do hunting, gather their food every day and live that type of life only. Next is religion. So early human was frightened of lightning and thundering. Lightning and thundering is when it is going to rain or storm is going to come. You see, you hear the sound from the clouds, or you see the spark of light, that is thundering and lightning. So they must have some suffered from fire or from storms or lightning and heavy rains. So they did not know about these actual causes of why there is lightning, thundering, rain. We know today why it rains, why there is thundering, why there is lightning, all scientific reasons we know. But at that time, people did not know, and they may be having some problems when these things come, like their crops must have failed, many people must have got suffered because of heavy rain and lightning. So they used to think that these are some supernatural powers. So they believe it is not possible, that this led them to believe that these were powers beyond their control which could cause damage to their life. So they believe these are some natural supernatural powers which were beyond their control, and if they do not obey them or worship them, they will have damage of their life. So they feared these things, and slowly they started worshipping these things, like worshipping sky, rain, wind, sun, believing them as God. And they believed that if they praise them and worship them, these things will not harm them. The lightning, the thundering, the heavy rain, the storm, the sun, the moon. If they worship them, they will not harm them. So they started worshipping these things. Next you have Chalcolithic period. Till now we had learned Paleolithic period, the Old Stone Age, Mesolithic period, Middle Stone Age, Neolithic period, New Stone Age. Next we have Chalcolithic period after Neolithic period. This is from 4000 to 2000 BCE. Neolithic age is from 8000 to 4000 BCE. Chalcolithic age is from 4000 to 2000 BCE, known as Chalcolithic period. This is the period when it is believed that humans started to use metal. Now he was using till now stones. His tools were made up of stones. Now he started making tools with the metal. So Chalcolithic age is related to metal. So copper is considered to be the first metal that he used, and Chalcolithic period is thus the period when both copper and stone were brought into use by humans. So in Chalcolithic age he used stones and copper, the metal, to make his tools and weapons. Now next you have Daujali Heading. An early civilization is a case study of the place. Daujali Heading is a place in Assam. So it is a case study about the early civilization. Some signs have been found related to early humans here. So Daujali Herring is located in Tezpur district of Assam, and signs of human settlement of the Neolithic age were found here along Brahmaputra Valley. So some signs related to the early human of Neolithic period have been found in Assam. The particular place is Daujali Herring. The excavation from this region have shown stone tools of different shapes. So when the excavation was done in Daujali Heading, the place, they found lot of evidences, tools of different shapes. The peculiar shape were those of broad cuttings. So when excavation was done in Daujali Heading, whatever tools they got, they have peculiar shape and broad cutting edges, wedge blades, and grooved hammer stones. The excavation at Daujali Herring yielded pottery of greyish color depicting basket and cord impression on the outer surface. So they have got some pottery in grey color, and it shows some impression on the outer side of the pottery. Other stone used was seen in form of corn crusher, pestle, corn crusher. These are the, we can say, the tools in which he used to crush the grain and grind the grain. Jarite stone was also found there. So this is some evidences related to the Neolithic age which have been found in Daujali Herring. Thus we have completed about our chapter 3, and we shall continue tomorrow the exercises and question answer. Thank you.